I've finished the rough work on this carving, so now I just want to kind of smooth it out, and I want to make sure that each of the strands are as round and as equal in thickness as I can get them. I might want to use, well, I have my knife that I've been using for this project, which is a nice sharp finishing knife. And then I also have a smaller blade, and the purpose for that is to get into this intersection right here, going around, because this is a round, it's curving, and if I try to use a long knife here, as you can see, I'm going to cut into this part and make a little notch in there that I don't want to have. So what I want to do is clean this up really well, and the best way to do that is just to work on a small part of that curve and just what I can see. Don't let the knife extend, because then I'm going to have things that I don't want to have. Cuts and nicks and low spots or whatever. So the worst thing you can do on this piece is to have a low spot, or a spot that's too thin. On this, if you look carefully at this, I can see right here, okay, if I take a caliper and I put it on this, okay, that is, not by much, but by a little, it's the narrowest part on this whole thing. So if I wanted to really make this perfect, I would have to make the entire carving the thickness of this, okay, and that's something you don't want to have happen, because then I got to carve all this whole thing down to that thickness, and that's really going to be a project. So you want to try to keep it even as you go. You know, it's not too bad, and this is just a practice piece, but when you look at it, you want to look at these curves, which should have been drawn by a compass, so they should be round. They shouldn't have a flat spot or a bump. And you look at the outside too, and the human eye is pretty good at picking that up. I can see right here it's a little fatter. Right in this part, it's fatter than here. Okay, so even if I use the caliper on this, I can see it definitely gets fatter in there. So then I have to decide if this section right from here to here is fatter than from here to here. Is it the outside of it, or is it the inside of it? So if there seems to be less than round shape here, maybe I need to take a little off here. Or if this curve seems to go smoothly and then up and down, then you want to take a little off here. So whatever, you have to just keep eyeballing it. Also remember to look at it from the edges, okay, and also flip it over, make sure you're comparing both sides so they look the same. And also you want to not only try to even out the thickness this way, but also on the sides you want to have it equal thickness all the way around. If you decide that you want to taper it on the points, that's fine, but just have them all tapered the same, because this is a symmetrical shape, and somebody looking at this is going to, notice that imperfection. So now the next thing, I have all these knife marks, so I want to go to, I've got some 80 grit sandpaper here, and I'm forming it into small squares. I might even want to fold it over into a triangle to get into tough spots. But basically, going with the grain, I want to just sand out this whole shape, and I want to be turning the piece in my hand so it's always round, okay, because that's the shape. Each strand is going to be a round shape, and try to get all the knife marks out and as smooth as possible, and then you'll even see any flaws in the thickness even more so. So following the grain, be careful that when you get into the corners here, that when you're sanding this part, you don't affect this. Stay tight to the intersection, and you want to do the same thing sanding as you do with your knife, is you want to follow around carefully and not go in a straight line so that you get a notch carved out here where you don't want it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you follow around where it's a round shape, sand in a round direction. Okay, so some of the high spots, if I notice as I'm sanding, I can take out some of them, and some of them I'll have to just go back with a knife because it's too much to take off. But anyway, that's it. I'll round it to my satisfaction, and then once I get the entire carving done with this 180 grit, and I'm happy with it, and it looks round and even, then I'll go to the next grit of sandpaper, not before. And that'll maybe be a 120, and then I'll progress to maybe a 180, and then I'll go to maybe a 220 or 240. See how that looks. This is pretty soft wood, so it'll sand pretty quickly. Then I can either stain it or I can put a clear finish on it, which I'll probably do. And that's it. It'll be done. So when it's all finished, I'll post a picture on my blog, which is, if you're not already on my blog, it's www.sundaywoodcarver.blogspot.com. So if you're watching this on YouTube only, that's my blog site, and please go there and look in the archives. I've only been doing a few projects with videos, and before that I did a lot of other blogs about carving. Some of them are better than others, but definitely you should go there and check it out, and also explore some of the links that I have on there and so forth, and keep carving and keep pushing yourself to get better and try new projects. This is a really good one. You can always take this once you're done, try it in a different wood, maybe a harder wood. That'll up the ante a little bit. We always want to make it just a little bit harder than we're able to do. One way to improve your skills is just to make multiples. If you just sat down and cut out 6 of these and carve them all one after the other, just that process is going to make you a better carver. You could also make it smaller. You could make it with more details. You could do it so that instead of being a round strand, these are triangular, so you could have a bevel. And for that, what you would want to do is mark the center line on this strand carefully, going all the way around, and then bevel up to that all the way around. That would be pretty challenging. You could make a double strand. Okay, you could make it so that it was in a harder wood. Okay, you can try carving this with different carving tools, all different ways that you can challenge yourself and improve your skills as a carver by just even carving the same project and varying the methods on there. You could also just leave this with all the carving marks, so that would be a challenge to get it so that every inch of this surface area on all this, which is quite a bit actually when you look at it, and have it all the same exact careful little mark on it, like a little hammered, effect on the outside of it. That would be a real challenge to do that, so that you didn't have any tear out, okay, or any chips or anything. That would be a good knife skill project. You'd have to have a very sharp knife, and you'd have to be working, with a lot of consistency, so that all your little divots were the same on there. So that would be a real challenge too. So a lot of different ways to take a simple project and make it harder. I'm going to do some other simple whittling. This is really just a whittling project. A couple more simple whittling projects for you guys, and see if I can push myself and you to be better carvers. Till next time, bye bye.